Hi there friends, welcome back to 3 Barrow Farm. Today I'm going to chat to you about what you can sow and plant in July in cool regions of Australia. It's not a lot, so we're also going to chat about some things that you can do to prepare for spring. So I'm going to be repeating a lot of the same things that I said in my June video of what to sow and plant in June, because June and July are pretty much the same. It doesn't truly get exciting again until August. And I tell you, I cannot wait for August to come around. So as usual, what I mention every single month are lettuce greens. We can sow quite a lot of lettuces and they actually do quite well at this time of the year. They will slow down because we have passed the shortest day of the year. And once we pass the shortest day of the year, it gets colder. So things will grow less rapidly when it is cold, but the lettuces still do quite well. So I'm actually sowing lettuce and spinach inside my house and then I'm transplanting them into the garden. But you can sow a few seeds into the ground. I just think you'll probably have more success if you do raise them somewhere warmer and then bring them outside. They're not going to go through shock like our summer veg would to the cold climate, because these vegetables that I'm listing today, they actually thrive in the cooler months. So lettuces, spinach, Asian greens and mustard greens, all of these leafy greens are fantastic to either sow or plant into your garden during July. One thing I always mention too are succession sowing. So these are fantastic to succession sow. So while I'm harvesting lettuces that came up in May, I'm waiting for the ones in June to be ready. And then when I plant the ones this month in July, they will be ready coming into spring. And so we get to enjoy lettuces for a much longer time by succession planting them. Broad beans and peas. So snap peas, snow peas and shelling peas. All of these you can plant into your garden still. Like I mentioned in the June video, you're going to have to think about spacing and the space that you have in your garden that you want to dedicate towards those plants that you want to put in later on. So think about this, because if you're putting these into the ground, they're not going to fruit until later, and you're probably going to want that space to put your spring plantings. So just keep that in mind. But they are great to plant in. They're great nitrogen fixing plants. So they're worth putting in a few if you have some space to do that now. Now behind me, I have some of my brassicas. I have some broccolis directly behind me that I have been harvesting from. Now with broccolis and other brassicas, we can plant them most of the months of the year. So right now you can sow and plant out broccoli, cabbage and kale in the brassica family. So these are faster growing brassicas. I've got cauliflowers in my garden that I planted back in late Feb. I'm pretty sure they were planted in February and they are fruiting now. So they're getting some nice heads about them and they'll be ready to harvest later this month. Cauliflowers, along with Brussels sprouts as well, they need to be planted much earlier. So it's too late to plant them now because they need many more days to fruit. Whereas broccolis, I've already harvested a whole heap in May and June from my February plantings. So they are faster growing vegetables, which is why we can still sow them and plant them into our gardens this month. Okay, so root vegetables, we can get our onions, our radishes. Radishes are a fantastic one. They're fast growing. They're great to go in our salads. So they go really well paired with lettuce, and we can plant these pretty much all year round. We just want to succession sow them so we don't have a whole heap in one go. So don't go planting out all of your radish seed at once. Just plant out a small row and then next month you can plant out another row, or in a fortnight, depending on how often you want to be harvesting these root vegetables. So along with the onions, you can also do spring onions, and we can do swedes and turnips. I have some turnips that are bulbing up quite nicely in my garden, and I sowed them early April. So I've got those growing now. I could put some more seed into the ground and then I could get a nice succession sowing of turnips. Lastly, I want to mention strawberry runners. So if you have runners coming off your strawberry plants and they have put out some roots elsewhere in the garden, now's a great time to chop them off from the main plant and then putting them where you want them. So digging them out with some soil attached to their roots and putting them into the ground where you want them. So it's a great time to separate our strawberries. It's also a great time to separate our rhubarb crowns. So eventually with rhubarb, when you've planted one crown, it will multiply. So we want to dig that whole plant up and separate them. And this is a fantastic time to do that. Now that's pretty much all we can plant and sow in our gardens right now in July in cool regions. It's just too cold to plant anything else and it's too early to raise things inside, because if you don't have like a greenhouse or a glass house or something that is going to keep those vegetables warm, and even if you do, it's probably not going to be a great thing to start raising them inside and then plant them out in September. It's still going to be too cold. So we really want to wait till October to November to get all those summer-loving plants out, especially with how last year went. I think it'll be interesting to see what happens this year and whether the cold creeps into our November all the way up to December and then all of a sudden it's summer, or whether we get some nice weather during the late spring like we really want to for those summer loving plants to take off in our gardens. So while we wait till there's more to plant and sow in the garden, we can do a few things to prepare for spring. One thing I love to do is sharpen my tools. So I might spend a day sharpening my shovels and my spades and my secateurs. And actually one thing that I really need to do right now is sand the wooden handles on my spades and shovels and forks and such, because they are starting to give us splinters. So it's a really great idea to sand them and then oil them in preparation for the months where we're going to be using them the most. You might also like to spend some time cleaning up your other gardening equipment. Perhaps your wheelbarrows need a bit of a hose out, or you might want to wash all of your gardening gloves. These things are great to do right now in winter when we're not using them as much. Especially on a rainy day, we can freshen up our gardening tools and then they'll be ready for when the sun does come out. Another thing we want to focus on is pruning. So pruning our fruit trees and other things that might need pruning, like your roses. I'm not hugely equipped to this. I know that there are certain times of winter that are better than others. I know that pruning some of the fruit trees when it's not going to rain straight away is a better idea than pruning them right when it's going to rain. They need a little bit of time for those cuts to heal before the rain starts, particularly our stone fruits. But my husband is more the expert on fruit tree pruning. I'm sure you'll be able to find lots of videos out there. I do look forward to bringing you one with my husband one day, and he will tell us all about fruit trees and how to care for them, because he's the expert here. I'm not. I just harvest the fruit and eat it. Winter is also a great time to keep on top of your weeding and to also mulch your beds and put down some compost and adjust the soils if you haven't got anything growing in those areas. Make sure to cover your beds with some mulch. The soil doesn't like to be bare and you will get a lot of weeds coming up if there are seeds in there. The soil wants to be covered, so make sure you cover it, or nature will do the covering for you. It is amazing how fast the months are going by, and before we know it, we will be in spring. So take this time to rest a bit and recuperate before we get back into the swing of things. If there are any other winter jobs that you know of that would be great to suggest, please do comment down below and let me know what you're harvesting right now out of your garden. I hope things are going well for you. As always, thank you for being here, my friends, and thank you for watching. Please do like and hype my video and make sure you subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. I wish you all the best for your sowing and planting this month. See you again very soon, my friends. Bye for now. Every time I want to film at the moment, it's windy. The troubles of filming outside.